Lord Cybertruck presents. Hello and welcome back to another video. Currently, I am at the Hickory, North Carolina Museum of Aviation, and this is a small private airport in addition to having an outdoor part of the tarmac that has lots of old aircrafts in it, and there's also an indoor part of the museum too. But in this video, I'll be looking at all the outdoor aircrafts in addition to one of them you can actually go inside, which I'll give more details about later on in the video. This aircraft here is the McDonnell Douglas F-18 Eagle, and this one was used by the Blue Angels about a year ago, and it was given to this museum in Hickory, North Carolina in January 2020. This here is a Lockheed P-3 Orion Navy reconnaissance aircraft used to look for submarines and like deploy small torpedo stuff in the water if it's particularly low.
9, 10. These are burgers, and these are responsible for firing off our sonar buoys, and that's how this thing does its job. This piece of electronic equipment here is a cutaway of what a sonar buoy would look like. These get fired through these tubes, and there's tubes on the bottom. There's 48 tubes below us, and a ground crew would load up with these sonar buoys, and with this panel here, we know where all our sonar buoys are. We can launch them. They parachute down into the water. They go down to different depths of the water. They're programmed to go to different depths. They're each talking on a separate channel. And then from there, the two people right in front of us, these crew people here, would put on headsets and listen for things in the water, primarily propellers turning. And that's how we know if there's a submarine located below us. Some of the manuals that went with the plane here. We've got some memorabilia in these display cases. This is a sextant. Flight computer there and a little stainless steel, be able to calculate flight. They still use those today for some of the private pilots. Yep, exactly. So it's weird. Yep.
See, they still use those things?
People do because they like to at least have a working knowledge of what they do. Yeah. Yeah, I took flight instructions back in '91, and we used that as a private pilot.
How dense is the
I'm sorry, sir?
how dense is the suppressant film?
I don't know. I don't even know why they have that here, but I couldn't even tell you anything about that.
Do you mind if I touch it?
No, not at all. Go on. That's why we're very active inside here.
67.
Is when you were taking flight.
Getting old. The 67 went through flight school.
Yep.
And we had this thing. Of course, it wasn't that large, but it was still called an E6B.
Yeah, they're made out of paper at that time, you know.
So, I just can't get over how much bigger it is than I thought it was.
Uh-huh.
This thing here is the electronic navigation computer system, and you know it's old because the computer screens are green like that. Very old, from the 60s, I believe. This particular aircraft was built in 1969. There is a serial number on the metal plate located in the cockpit, which will be seen later on in the video.
Oh, that's a step down.
This here is the radar system. That big circle indicates if there's any incoming submarines, and on that little circle computer screen you'll be able to see them. Oh, and that's just a nice window next to it. This aircraft in particular is a submarine hunter, which is why it has that radar computer, and the other one from about a minute ago. This computer screen here might be used for the deployment of weapons and torpedoes, because in a minute you'll see, or not a minute, in a few seconds you'll see a sign that says "Weapons Loaded," which is what I would assume this will be used for. Yeah, right now. This is proof, I should say living proof, that there were computers in the 60s. So, I don't know, but this could have been like a future modification they had at some point later on in time, but yeah, they did have computers back then. This here was probably used for navigation, if I had to guess, because here you'll see maps and whatnot, and smaller computer screens. I mean, that's just a good guess. I truly just don't know. Perhaps maybe I should not press the button. Here is the cockpit in all of its glory. Those are what the flight engineer would use. Lots of, I don't know, knobs and switches and whatnot. Yeah, a flight engineer is like a third or fourth even person in the cockpit. Oh, fresh air. Ah, yes. That does various tasks so that the pilot, the co-pilot and the pilot can focus on flying the aircraft. Those are our two propellers on each side. That's a helicopter right there, and that's the jets. But cockpit, you know, all the action happens there pretty much. Well, in a Navy aircraft, or constant aircraft like this, it happens really everywhere. But this is where, well, this is how it flies. And they have these little window thingamajigs that keep the sun out and everything, so it's not as hot in here. Even though it's, wow, very hot. But that there's the yoke. That's how they fly the aircraft itself. Yes, a yoke. Or, yeah, maybe yoke? Pretty sure it's called that. I don't know. Those are various knob switches that pilots can access easily above them. And those are just used for God knows what. And that's the emergency hatch thing. That way if it crashes or whatever, pilots can get out and whatever. That's the main thingamajig. I don't know. Those levers there. I don't know. Oh, those are the acceleration and the whatever levers, I guess. That's an emergency light thingamajig. I don't know. Yeah, they had like little doohickeys on the sides there. That I have no clue what that is. To be honest, lots of dials and knobs and I don't know. Just I don't know. And that thing, there's a little place where the flight engineer sits. Thank you for taking time out of your own day to watch this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I also hope that you have a nice day or night wherever you live.